What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and I'm back with another video for you guys. And first of all, welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. And as you can see by the title of today's video, I'm actually going to be doing some manga recommendations, but mostly manga recommendations for people who are just newly getting introduced to manga. So if you have anyone that you know that has never really read manga before but wants to read manga, or any of you guys, even if you guys are very seasoned in reading manga but you're looking for new stuff to read, then feel free to continue watching this video or share it out if you like. Also, I did separate the manga based off of genres, so I did action, horror, and psychological. I kind of looped all those in together just because I don't remember if I've seen a lot of like action, horror, or psychological manga, which is why I just kind of put them all together. Next, I have romance and shoujo. And last one I have on my list is manga that are based off of like actual novels or books, but now they're put into manga form. And also with each of these mangas, I also put down where you can actually find them digitally. I know that a lot of people do like to buy manga physically, but I mostly just listed how you can buy them digitally or how you can read them digitally if you like. These are especially great for those people who are just getting newly started into manga and want to test it out first before going all the way in and buying a physical copy if that is the way that they choose to read their manga. Plus, I know like many of us, bookshelf space is very limited, so going digitally is not exactly a bad thing. And if you checked out my recent video, I actually talked about which manga app is actually most worth it. So feel free to check out that video as well after this one if you're still trying to decide which is the best way to read manga digitally. So let's get started with the manga that I have for you guys and what I recommend. Now, the first part that I actually, like I told you guys, the first genre that I have is action, psychological, and horror. And the first one I have on this list is an action one. It is My Hero Academia. I actually just recently started reading this manga, but I have watched the anime. I'm not exactly caught up with it, but the main premise of this manga is about a boy by the name of Deku, who pretty much lives in a world where a lot of people have quirks. And his whole goal is he just wants a quirk, but he is born quirkless. So he is kind of the rare commodity in this world, and it's all about him kind of rising to the occasion when he actually does end up getting a quirk, and kind of like what he does with it and how he's trying to harness this quirk and have a lot of control over it. It's a really great manga. The anime is so good, so that is why I definitely recommend checking it out. Now, where you can actually read this manga is you can read it on Viz, and it is available with their subscription, which is $1.99 a month. It is also available on Comixology and also iBooks. But remember, with Comixology and with iBooks, you actually have to buy the volumes separately. On Viz, they have all the chapters listed up to the most recent one, and it's available with subscription, so you don't have to buy each individual manga unless you really want to. The next one I have on my list is Death Note. Now, Death Note is a older manga, a little bit of an older anime, but it is overall a great show and a great manga. I actually just recently read the manga last year, late last year. I actually read the manga for the very first time, and it's so good. And it's about a boy by the name of Light Yagami who pretty much comes across this book called a Death Note, where you can write someone's name in it and they die within a couple of minutes, unless you actually choose how they are going to die. And basically with Light having this notebook, he basically wants to make a new world and basically becomes this character by the name of Kira, and it's all about him trying to evade the police while also trying to help them solve the crime. It's a really great manga, definitely lots of twists and turns, and keeps you on the edge of the seat. Definitely recommend reading it. And you can also find this manga available on Viz, available with the subscription. They have all the chapters, but if you want to buy the digital copies, they also are available on Viz, but they also are available on Comixology as well as iBooks. So actually the next one I have on my list is actually a manga I currently own, and it's actually really good. And also, it actually also is my first horror manga that I actually ever read, and I also did a reading vlog about it, and that is Uzumaki. Now, I own the physical copy of Uzumaki, but it is available on Viz, Comixology, I believe, and it is also available on iBooks. And this one, though, you have to buy the entire volume. You can't just read the chapters by themselves on Viz with a subscription, so this one would be a different cost associated with it. But pretty much it's basically this manga about this town that has spirals, and it's a lot of psychological, a lot of horror. There is some like gruesome parts in it, so if you're someone that's very sensitive to violence or very sensitive to gore, I wouldn't recommend reading this. But it is a great manga to read, especially if you're someone who's into the horror genre or thriller genre. So definitely check it out. Definitely recommend it. So the next manga I have on my list is Naruto. So a lot of people know about Naruto. It's about a kid by the name of Naruto Uzumaki, and pretty much he basically just wants to become Kohage of the Leaf Village where he lives, and he has the spirit of the fox inside of him, so a lot of people really avoid him. Really great show. The anime ended a while ago, as did the manga, but a lot of people still love it and still love to watch it and still love to read it. And this one is also available on Viz with the subscription as well, so all the chapters are available on there. But once again, if you want to buy the volumes digitally, they are available on Comixology as well as on iBooks. So definitely feel free to check it out. Definitely recommend it. The next one I have on my list, and also the last one I have on my list for action, horror, or thriller, is of course going to be Bleach. Now, Bleach is a manga that is completed at this point. The anime is supposed to start back up again, I believe, sometime this year. But Bleach is basically about a boy by the name of Ichigo Kurosaki, who gets the powers of a soul reaper while trying to protect his family, and it's all about the Soul Society and him having to just take on villains. Kind of like a Dragon Ball Z-ish kind of a show. Really, really good. The manga also is pretty good as well. I really did enjoy it. The manga you can definitely read on Viz, once again with their subscription, completely at $1.99. You can, all the chapters are available to you. You also can buy it, of course, on Comixology, and you can also buy the volumes on iBooks if you choose to go that route. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for action, psychological, and thriller. And next up, we're going to have romance and shoujo. So for romance and shoujo, I have quite a few of them on here, mostly because I totally love romance and shoujo manga, but I hope you guys enjoy these ones that I suggest to you guys as well. The first one I have on this list is Fruits Basket. Now, as maybe you guys know, Fruits Basket had an anime that came out in 2001, and currently right now they basically rebooted the entire anime and came out in like 2019, I believe, and they're about to have their third season come out this year. Basically, it's about a girl by the name of Toru Honda who is obsessed with the zodiac, and she comes across this family called the Soma family, and they are all cursed with the zodiac spirit. So when they are hugged by the opposite sex, they turn into whatever zodiac character their spirit is associated with. So like the dog, the rat, the ox, so on and so forth. And basically it's this cute little like romance kind of in the show, but it also has a lot of mystery involved surrounding this particular curse, and there's also a lot of drama, of course, as well. I totally enjoy this show, and I also really enjoyed reading the manga, so I definitely recommend reading it. As far as where you can read it, it is not available on Viz, but it is available through Comixology and iBooks, so you can definitely buy the volumes on there digitally if you like. Also, if you want physical copies, of course, you can buy them online. The next one I have on this list is Ouran High School Host Club. Now, I was obsessed with this show, and the manga is just as great. I definitely recommend reading the manga because it goes a lot more in depth with the characters, and it's pretty different from the anime as well, so I definitely recommend checking it out. Now, as far as what Ouran High School Host Club is about, it's about a girl by the name of Haruhi Fujioka who comes across the host club, ends up breaking a vase, and then ends up owing them money. So she ends up joining the host club under the guise as a guy, as a male, and basically it's all about the stuff she gets into with the host club. It's a really, really funny manga. It also, of course, has romance associated with it, so definitely check it out. You also can find this manga available on Viz, Comixology, and iBooks. Viz is not available with the subscription, so you have to pay per volume, the same for Comixology and the same also for iBooks. So the next one I have on my list is Honey So Sweet. So I actually really enjoyed reading this manga. I read it about a year ago and probably finished it sometime last year. So basically the main premise of this manga is pretty much about a girl by the name of Kogure who ends up actually helping this boy out by giving him her umbrella, and this boy is kind of on the rough side. Like, people really think he's a bad guy, he's not very nice, but it turns out he just looks that way, but he's actually really, really sweet. And yeah, really, really cute manga. Definitely recommend reading it, and it is also available on Viz, Comixology, and iBooks, but you have to pay per volume for the manga. Next one I have on my list is Fushigi Yugi. Basically, it's about a girl who ends up being transported into the land of the four gods, and she ends up having to bring the celestial warriors all together. That's pretty much the main premise of the manga. There are also two other concurrent mangas that go with it based off of the other celestial priestess that end up going into this land. And those are Genbu and then Byaku. Those are the other two celestial warriors. They also do have mangas associated with them as well, but I recommend Fushigi Yugi. Totally a great manga. I actually read it for the first time also last year. It is also available on Viz, iBooks, and also on Comixology, but of course you have to buy them per volume as well. So the next manga I have on my list is Itsuzu no Kiss. I talked about this manga before. I've talked about the anime before. Basically about a girl named Kotoko who ends up liking this boy by the name of Naoki. They end up having to live together, and it's just a lot of romance and drama from there. Totally love this manga. Definitely recommend reading it. The manga ends very differently from the anime, so I definitely also recommend watching the anime as well. As far as where you can read this on Comixology and you can read this on iBooks, but also you have to, of course, pay per volume. So check it out. Next one I have on my list is Orange. Now, Orange is a manga that I read, I think it was sometime last year. I read Orange. Basically, though, Orange is about a girl by the name of Naho who ends up starting 11th grade. She comes across this boy she ends up really liking, but they also end up receiving letters from their future selves about one of their close friends. And it's about the fact that their close friend is no longer around in the future. So basically, they're asking them for help to change this future and to make it a lot different than the reality that their future selves actually sees. So I will say a few warnings about this. If you're someone who are very sensitive to any like mental health issues or suicide, definitely be warned about this manga. It is still really good, but just want to definitely throw that out there. As far as where you can read this on Comixology and iBooks, once again paying per volume. Next one I have on my list is Peach Girl. Now, Peach Girl is an anime I watched years ago. It's also a manga that I totally love, and it also has a sequel manga which I haven't read yet. But Peach Girl is about a girl named Momo, and Momo has darker skin and orange hair due to her being a swimmer and being in the sun a lot, and the chlorine has dyed her hair. But she has a bit of a reputation due to how she looks, and she really struggles with the way she looks because she has a friend by the name of Sai who's like pale skin, and all the boys love her. And so basically Momo likes this boy named Toji, and Toji likes her, and they kind of end up dating, but there's a lot of drama involved, and it's just all over the place. But it's like your typical shoujo drama romance. Definitely recommend reading it, and also I recommend watching the anime as well. As far as where you can actually read Peach Girl, you can read it on Comixology Unlimited, which means it is actually associated with their subscription. So Comixology is $5.99 a month, and Peach Girl is available underneath that, so you don't have to pay per volume. But if you want to buy each volume, they are also available on iBooks. So that's where you can find it. The next one I have is Nana. Now, Nana was an anime I watched like back in 2015, and I read the manga later on also after it. The manga, I will say, is not completed. It is on a permanent hiatus at this point, but I still definitely recommend checking out the manga, and I definitely recommend watching the anime. Basically, it's about two girls whose both their names are Nana. They both end up going to Tokyo. They end up becoming roommates. One girl is in a band, and the other girl is just trying to find her way through life and with romance. And it is a wonderful show. It is a wonderful manga. I definitely recommend checking it out. As far as where you can read these, they are available on Comixology and iBooks, once again paying per volume. Now, the last one that I have for the romance and shoujo portion is Sweat and Soap. Sweat and Soap is a manga that literally just started. I believe it just came out like in August, I want to say, is when this manga started. And I've adored it and have loved it. At this point, they're on volume number 5. Basically what it's about a girl by the name of Asako who works at a soap company. And she ends up coming across a guy who's basically loves her scent. It sounds very, very strange, but that's basically what's about. They end up starting a relationship with each other, and there's some drama involved, but not a whole lot. I've talked about this before. It has more of a mature romance associated with it. So this is like a 16 and up or 17 and up manga. So just want to throw that out there. The other ones were like definitely younger. So definitely want to make sure I let you guys know about that. But I definitely recommend reading this. It is so good. Now, as far as where you can find this manga digitally, you can find it on Comixology, and you can also find it on iBooks, of course, paying per volume. So definitely recommend checking this out. So the last one that I have for you guys are manga that were based off of books or based off of novels. And the first one that I have is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. They have it available for Viz. Now, this is of course the novel version. I do not own the manga version, but this is basically the book. Basically, it's about a girl that basically writes fan fiction about her favorite characters from this book. And basically, she's really well known in the fan fiction world about about what she writes. And yeah, that's kind of what it's about. I haven't read it in a long time, so I apologize if I get it incorrect. But I really did enjoy reading this book. I definitely recommend it. I also recommend the manga form of it. Now, as far as where it's available on Viz, Comixology, and iBooks. Once again, you have to pay for it. It's not available with any subscription. So my last and final one is Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. So I haven't read this yet, but I plan to read this month during the month of January. Hopefully I get to it. But basically, it's the same book that we all read back in high school. Romeo loves Juliet. They can't be together because their families hate each other. But this is just a manga form of it. Now, I wasn't able to find where you can buy this online. And I think it's just because Romeo and Juliet is such a well-known story that there's so many different literations or so many written ways of this. I bought mine though from Barnes and Noble, so it might be the best way to get this physical copied. So probably try Barnes and Nobles or Amazon. As far as whom they're by, it is by Manga Classics, and that is basically all it says. It's by Manga Classics. So if you want, you can go to mangaclassics.com and actually purchase it from their website. I'm also not sponsored by them, so just want to let you guys know. But yeah, if you're interested in it, definitely that's where you can find it. So that's pretty much all of the manga I recommended. I know that is a lot of manga, so I am so sorry if this video goes so long, but yeah, I just thought those were great recommendations. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, one thing I do want to make sure to say to you guys is definitely before recommending manga to your friends or your family or someone who's new to it, definitely recognize who your audience is. Not everybody's going to like all the same things. For me, when people usually ask me for recommendations, I generally ask like, what are you currently interested in? What are your favorite genres? Sometimes I even ask like, what are they in the mood to read or what are they in the mood to watch before actually recommending something. So it's the same way with some of the manga that I have that are 17 and up, kind of like Nana or with Sweat and Soap. Definitely make sure that if it's someone who's new to manga, that you kind of ease them into it before giving them something that's a little bit more on the more mature side, just to make sure that it's something that they do like and that they do enjoy. And if you're someone who's new, who's came across my video and you haven't read manga before, as far as like which service to go with, definitely check out my previous video where I said which manga app is worth it, because I definitely recommend going with one that has a subscription attached to it so that you can get into reading manga without having to feel like you've paid for something or paid for a volume that you're not gonna actually read or that you don't like. So yeah, definitely what I recommend right off the bat. But that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, like always, I do have links below to my social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a blog, so definitely check them out and follow me if you like. Of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll come up with a new video for you guys next week on Wednesday. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like I always tell you guys, stay positive, stay nerdy in today's day and age, stay healthy, and of course, please stay safe. All right, you guys. Bye.